Hello again, everybody. It is Scott Casper. Takedown Wrestling. Our coverage of the sport continues. We go to the Nike hot seat. This time we head to Minnesota, and he's back in Minnesota after a sojourn, a trip, if you will, for competition to the Pan Am Wrestling Championships in Santiago, Chile. Dustin Schlatter. Dustin, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Dude, you've been wrestling some 24 years of your 28 years of existence. You've had injuries, but you've had a tremendous amount of success in your career. One of the reasons J. Rob wanted you at Minnesota was your performance at St. Paris Graham, your brother as well. I mean, you guys absolutely dominated the Ohio landscape over your time there, but then you went on to a tremendous career at the University of Minnesota. You know, I'm telling you everything you know, but are trying to draw the picture for the fans out there. You won an NCAA title, Big Ten titles, an outstanding experience at Minnesota. Academically, I got to believe it was as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great school, and that's part of the reason why we came out here. So got that degree taken care of, and actually now I'm finishing up my grad school degree. So
Now, your undergrad was in what?
communications.
Okay, so obviously that's one of the reasons why we're having a great interview today. So thank you for that. But your grad degree is in what?
Kinesiology with an emphasis in sports management.
There we go. So that would lead me into your desire and appreciation for coaching. You are actually coaching now as well, right?
Yep, I still help out at the University of Minnesota, and I coach on the side a lot. Do a lot of work with Apple Valley in the off season and a couple other schools in the area.
And you are a member of the Minnesota Storm.
Yes, I am.
Talk,
Minnesota Storm Club. Yep.
yeah, talk to us about that, because if you think Minnesota Storm, you automatically think Greco.
Yeah, we obviously have a pretty tremendous Greco club here. I think there's 12 or 15 guys training. We always have guys in the Olympic team, but we have, I think, maybe 10 guys wrestling, training freestyle for the Storm Club. So we got both, and so we got a pretty solid team. A lot of good guys training out here now.
You know, there was a period of time between 2009 and today, for example, where you didn't wrestle, and it had to do with injuries suffered through your collegiate wrestling career, and then, of course, injuries that were sustained in the 2009-2010 year, or that particular season anyway. Talk to us a bit about recovering. You're at the highest level when it comes to competition. Recovery as we get older is obviously more difficult. Our bodies don't heal as quickly. What used to bend and flex now breaks and snaps. I think Gable said that. I think he did. Talk to us about physically being prepared to compete internationally these days. Is it more challenging for you, or are you better attuned to your body and its needs?
Oh, I definitely think I'm better attuned. I mean, coming off college, the college season is such a grind. It's a long season, and you're making weight every week, getting your weight down, wrestling every week, and that's hard on the body. Like you said, I've wrestled 24 years without really any breaks. So taking a couple of years off was good for me physically, especially mentally. But internationally, I think it's a little easier on the body because you can kind of peak for tournaments. There's a longer break, usually a couple months, month in between competitions. You don't have to constantly bring your weight down every week. And just with 20 plus years of experience, I think I have a better idea of how to train. But I think one quote I heard is you got to work hard to work hard. So you got to make sure you're doing the sauna, the ice baths, getting good warm ups in, just being smart, eating right, doing all the things to make sure you can actually train hard and wrestle hard. So taking care of yourself.
You mentioned ice baths, and I'm a fan. I was under the whole Gable idea of how to train, and at the University of Iowa. So tell me, other than shocking your sense and sensibility, what does an ice bath do for you?
Well, a lot of times we'll do after a long week of training or hard workouts, we'll do alternating between ice baths and hot tubs back and forth, and I mean it just helps with lactic acid and just helps you recover, helps the body recover, and get beat up in wrestling, and I think it makes a big difference. I don't necessarily enjoy it that much, to be honest, but you got to force myself to get in there.
So tell me, I'm sure at some point there's been a contest between you, your brother, or whoever who can stay in the ice bath the longest? What's the longest you've been able to stay in?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head the longest, but to be honest, the first few minutes is the toughest. Once
Yeah.
your body just goes numb, then you're good. So
Hypothermia sets
I
in.
get hypothermia, and that's the problem. So, right.
Minnesota Storm member and just outstanding wrestler, great guy. He cares about the kids, he cares about the sport, which is evidenced by his coaching, not only through the club, but at the University of Minnesota and with the Minnesota Storm. CP Schlatter joins us. I got to tell you, excuse me, CP. I said CP. I was thinking CP because it's one of my questions. I want to ask you what he's doing here in a minute. But Dustin Schlatter joins us. You won all 4 of your bouts in Santiago by Tech Fall, outscoring your opponents 41-0 on your way to that gold medal. That's an impressive performance to say the least. But I asked you off air. So, what was the competition like? Was it super tough? What was it like on a scale of say 1 to 10?
Uh, I guess I would say 5.
Really?
I mean, the guys are tough. Anytime you wrestle internationally and you have guys representing their country, they're going to be pretty tough. But um, I kind of had a goal of going in there and scoring points, getting tech falls, and um, I wanted to win all the matches as quick as possible. And my goal was to tech everyone, not score, and give up any points, and so I kind of was on a mission out there, I guess.
Who was in your corner, Jared Lawrence or who?
Down there was Bruce Burnett was out there, and Kerry McCoy, Mark Perry, Buxton. So we had 4 coaches with us.
Well, you had some great guys, that's for sure.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
guys to look up to. Because Bruce Burnett now managing the affairs and the coaching of Team USA Freestyle, and I think he's done quite well in his return to coaching. Not that long off, but I think he's done very well. Let's talk, as I mentioned, your brother, CP, moments ago, even inadvertently, I was going to ask what he's doing now.
He is actually a nurse anesthetist. So he's working at the University of Minnesota Hospital. So he actually lives right on campus. And he's married and, yeah.
Any kids?
No kids yet.
No kids
Soon,
yet.
sure.
Okay. Well, tell him we said hello. Let's talk a bit about the U.S. Open. It returns to Las Vegas this year. 25 years it's been in Vegas, but 24 of them have been at the famed Las Vegas Convention Center, the great big box that we turn into a wrestling event every year. This year it goes to the South Point Arena at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. What are your thoughts on the venue change, first of all?
I don't know a lot about the new venue, but it sounds to me like it's an arena, which is a good thing. I think just years past that I've been in Vegas, the seating could have been better,
Right.
Especially during the early rounds when you have, 15, 20 mats and there's really no bleachers or place to see, elevated areas. So everyone's scrambling around between the mats trying to see the early rounds and you're standing. And so, I'm hoping it's better for the fans and the spectators. And it sounds like it will be.
That's my take on it as well. I'm obviously wanting to make sure that wrestling continues to expose itself to fans on television and those in attendance to the best of its ability. And I think we need to be in an arena. So they've made the right decision. I know Larry Barnston struggled with the decision a bit and where to move it to, but South Point seems to be a good home, creating a good, I think a family atmosphere in many ways for the wrestling fans that'll be out there and the wrestlers and coaches. So, yeah, I think you're right on track. But having not been there, I think it's probably fair for you to reserve judgment until after it's over. In preparation for the U.S. Open, let's face it, these are all steps toward the return opportunity for you and the world team. But we have the U.S. Open to get through. We have a couple events in between. Of course, the World Team Trials that'll take place in Madison, Wisconsin. What are your thoughts on prepping for this? Because, quite frankly, you've got a loaded weight class.
Yeah, the U.S. Open's always tough. When you try to make a world team, every weight's going to be stacked. Pretty much every match you'll have All-Americans, national champs. But I think that was part of the reason I went down to Pan Am's because it is scratch weight. A lot of times you get 2 kilo allowance. But Pan Am's a scratch, U.S. Open's scratch weight, so I wanted an opportunity to make weight, go through the process, refueling, get my weight back up, putting the singlet on, getting warmed up, and getting those matches in because I've taken a couple of years off. So I think as much mat time as I can get is good for me. So
Your background is very well. It's a neat pedigree, including not just freestyle, folk style, but also Greco. Your performances in Fargo, you won the Junior National Freestyle Championship, I think, in 2003, about 135 pounds, I think it
yep.
was. You've met, several competitors that you may see again in the future. Uh, some outstanding athletes. What are your thoughts about wrestling for the spots in the U.S. against these competitors at your weight? Let's face it, they're not looking forward to facing you. I can guarantee you that.
I'm excited for the challenge, and like I said, because I took some time off, there's some new faces that I haven't seen. Maybe some guys that are younger. I guess some people would consider me old now. So there's some new young guys that will be fun to wrestle, and new challenge in that. And then there's some guys that I've battled with several times over the years. Um, but they're each match is going to be unique and exciting in its own way, and I look forward to all the challenges that I'll have.
When I go back to your collegiate years and perhaps your freshman season, one match stood out to me, and that was your win over Troy Terpelli, 14-1 in the championship bout. You remember that bout?
I do.
I don't know if you could have wrestled a more perfect match, but it was just that's one that just stands out in my mind as being one of those hallmark matches, specifically of your collegiate career. What stands out to you of your collegiate career as a hallmark match?
Um, well, I think I would say, but a lot of people would say when I was a true freshman wrestling Zach Esposito, I wrestled him twice, uh, largely because he was a returning national champion. He was a senior, and at the time I was doing well, but I don't think many people thought that I was on his level yet. And I believe I beat him the first time national duel 7-6, and then the next time in the dual meet against Oklahoma State, I got a major decision, which was big for the team duel, and um, just showed everyone I guess I was on that level and I was ready to wrestle and be a national champion at that point.
Yeah, Mark DeSalvo, I think, was your only loss that year, but you later avenged that loss, of course, or was that year. But no, you beat Zach Esposito. If they surely underthought their game plan against you. That's some outstanding wrestling. I could see where you might bring that up. You've had some outstanding competition there. Brent Metcalf, I think, is a good one to bring up. Gregory Gillespie, but there are some outstanding matches you've had. And of course, some of these guys now look to be teammates of yours on Team USA. Wisconsin will be the host of this year's World Team Trials. That'll take place, I think, in June. And are you looking forward to that opportunity? First of all, we got to get you out to Las Vegas, but after that, we turn our attention to making that world team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. It's nice. It's in Wisconsin, so it's a pretty easy drive for a lot of friends and supporters here in Minnesota and family in Ohio. But I've only actually wrestled in two world team trials, so this will be my third. Um, but in the past when I've wrestled, it's always a fun event, obviously, because it's such a big event, so important, just to make that team get an opportunity to wrestle at the World Championships. So such a high level, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It should be fun.
And when you first signed on for the interview on Skype, I was gratified to see the American flag behind you on the wall. You're proud to represent the United States, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Um, and that's part of the reason why going to Pan Am is such a fun trip. It's one guy at each weight. Each country has their guy, and yeah, there's a lot of pride in that, and getting the opportunity to represent your country. I mean, just getting the opportunity is very satisfying alone, because it's tough wrestling here in America and United States, and yeah, I take a lot of pride in that.
You've had some outstanding career moments, but I don't think we give our athletes enough time to really truly recognize those that help make those career moments possible. And those are the coaches, the support members of your family, uh, your brother. Who are the people in your life you want to thank that have gotten you to this point and stuck by your side through thick and thin? Let's face it, being a wrestler is not easy. Being a relative or a fiance or whatever of a wrestler is very challenging as well.
Yeah, I mean, I thank my parents, mom and dad, Pat and Joy Schlatter. They are incredible people, some of the most supportive people. My dad, I don't think he missed a single college match throughout my career, and he lives in Ohio. They live in Ohio, and I went to Minnesota, and we go all over the country, and he would not miss. He didn't miss one thing, and that's pretty incredible in itself. And so they'll be out in Vegas, and they're super supportive. I wouldn't be even close to as good as I am without them. And then my brother, CP, who's my training partner for first 20 years of my life. And his wife, my sister-in-law, Sarah, was very supportive. And then just all my training partners, my coaches, the guys out here in Minnesota. So pretty special group I have.
There's one question I didn't ask you. There was some I don't want to say controversy, but obviously anytime there's a change from what the public perception or expectations are, we go back to your senior year when Jay sent out that press release stating that you were going to drop to 157, and Deichler was ruled ineligible. And what was that season like for you? I mean, let's face it, there's a difference in weight.
Yeah, it was a little different coming off the World Championships. They had initially asked me to go 165, and the weight class I was at the time was 163, 74 kilos, and which I was fine with. That's the guys I wrestled all summer, freestyle-wise. And I probably weighed about 165 at the time. So I was a little undersized, but, it was just a new challenge. And we expected Deichler to come back, and we thought he was a better fit at 157. And he was ruled ineligible, which was unfortunate. He would have been a terror in the college world. But then at the time, we had a guy behind me at 165, Cody Yoan, who went on to be an All-American. And so they asked me if I'd go down a weight mid-season, and I obliged. I was a senior, a captain. I felt like a team leader, and I wanted to do the best for the team, and so I went down a weight.
Lead by example.
Exactly.
That's very generous, and I think that's what a team leader for Team USA needs to be is somebody that leads by example, and you're looking to do so at your weight. We're looking forward to seeing you in Las Vegas, Dustin. It's great to see you back in competition. Your performance, 41-0 and a gold medal finish, helping your team achieve the championship and the title down there, I thought was outstanding. But I really can't wait to see what I call the new and improved Dustin Schlatter. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Should be a fun time. I'm having fun, and can't wait to get on the mat again.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to making your introductions, watching the matches, and surely getting after it together at the South Point Arena. It's going to be an outstanding arena and a great place for wrestling as we look toward the future of the sport. Dustin, thanks for the time today, bud. Best to your family and the coaching staff up there. Best to the Minnesota Storm. I appreciate the time, and hope you had a good time.
I did. Thanks for having me.
You bet. For all of us at Takedown, our Nike Hot Seat guest today, Dustin Schlatter, who had an outstanding career as a wrestler for the University of Minnesota, even going through the injuries. He is a master at his sport, and we'll look forward to seeing his performance at the U.S. Open next week, South Point Arena in Las Vegas. We'll see you there.